Yes, everybody put your hands together for the Tutors, the sweetest, cutest, most awesome family in Omaha, Nebraska. There's also a lot of other really, really awesome families too. They're just one of them. Welcome. Hi. My name is Brooke Barsell, and I present to you Contagious, the stay-home comedy show. I am Brooke Barsell. I am your host. My name is Brooke. It's spelled with an E, although sometimes I'll spell it wrong. And that's never good because then I'm broke. I'm just going to apologize right away. I am from Nebraska, hence my jokes are very, very corny. Yeah. And those tutors, cool. Those tutors, I didn't want to say it right away since they're young, but they're like pretty much the only brass to mouth that I'm okay with. I am really excited. Like, the world did this wild changing thing and put us all on pause, and a lot of us got real antsy, and then a lot of us started to find each other online. And I found, like, it's hard because there's so many. I keep finding more people and they're so funny, but these people are really special that you're going to see tonight. I've got, I believe, 5 comedians from Chicago, from Pittsburgh, I wrote it all down. I try to memorize everything, but we're not 100% perfect. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. I tried for a really long time. Like, that was like, I can do it, right? I got this. I can be perfect. Holy fucking shit. Don't recommend that. So I just want you to know that this is not a nut-free facility. Ooh. There is nuts that get processed here, although it's been a while. We have to stay 6 feet away. And I'm a good girl, right? So I'm obeying the rules, because next thing you know, they're going to be like now 9 feet. And that's much too far away for 2 people to simultaneously kiss each other's genitalia. I've been told that I have pigtail energy. It's okay, you can laugh. You're supposed to. I kind of compare it to like big dick energy, you know? Like, once you like feel it, that kind of energy, like you just want to grab onto it. Like, no. Cool. So speaking of nuts, I was doing some research. This is actually like funny and informative, which is nice. The difference between nuts and legumes, because I'm like, I want to know what's the difference. So nuts, they have one seed. One. Legumes, they have several. They're plentiful of their seeds. So I'm thinking, like, I'd like to be legumed on. I'm not being legumey, am I? Cool. So I have a lot of like heavy objects on my headboard back here, which is proof that I'm not getting any. I do think that sex should be dangerous. I do, you know, but rocks on the head, no. I'd rather be picky than sticky. That's my moral. That's my t-shirt, guys. You're going to buy it soon. Is that a dog cat? I'm sorry. You guys cannot see Natalie. While I'm distracted by her beautiful cat, let's go ahead and give Natalie a round of applause, because she runs this show like magic. Woo! You don't have to do anything. You just look awesome with that cat. That's so pretty. So pretty. I have like a whole like joke about a cat, but it's like 4 or 5 minutes long. And I'm going to give a lot of the time to these other comedians. And hopefully soon we're going to get in cars and we're all going to meet each other in parking lots. And we're going to do shows in Chicago and Pittsburgh and LA and all those other awesome places. Cool. All right. So let's do like, I want to do like 2 more jokes. I do. I'm going to do 2 more, just 2 more. Maybe it might end up being 3, but I promise it won't be anywhere close to 6. I'm not going to be greedy, you know. For real though, I drove down the street. I was going 69. I wanted to take a picture, but I'm like, that's dangerous. I'm already looking at the weather. It was 69 too, you know, and I'm like, I feel it, you know, 69 Ferry is real. He is here. He is excited. And so am I. And then all of a sudden it got colder and I was like, no. And I was like, thank God. Oh. I love it. Like I was going to say when he comes, but that's like way too dumb of a punchline. I'm going to guess that there's some Chiefs fans in the crowd. A couple of them. No, me neither. I'm more of a 69er fan. And you know, if you're not a 69er fan, you're just lazy. Although I had some fat people tell me that 69ing is dangerous. But like, come on. Like, it's 2020. Sex should be reciprocal. If I'm given a 6, I'm fucking getting my 9. And I bet you like right now it's like 6:39 and someone just looked at the clock and smiled. And I was like, yeah, the 69 Ferry is real, like shows up in all these forms. 6 plus 3 is 9. So when you see 3, 6, 9, it's all connected. Just like what happens when your bodies are like, you know, nuttin' and legumin on the face. Okay. Put your hands together for your host, Brooke Barsell.
You.
Yeah, so like joy is contagious, and that's why I call this show Contagious, because happy heals. I really believe that. I feel like you can laugh away so much stress, and stress is like the cause of 99% of diseases. Okay, that concludes the TED Talk portion of this show. Our first comedian, I met him in a virtual open mic in Phoenix. He is from Pittsburgh. He is very funny. I already said where he's from, and that's all I have to say right now. You guys are going to put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Arvin Clay.
You.
Hey, everybody. Evening, guys, gals, non-binary pals. How are we doing tonight? Good? Awesome. I have got to admit something. I miss early 2020. Early 2020 was so much better. Early 2020 started off with me taking a DNA test, finding out I'm 100% that bitch, and then really kind of analyzing things and saying, you know, maybe I shouldn't get my genetics kits at Costco. really photos, not so good with your genetics. I also missed the part of 2020, the early part of 2020. Remember, this was early 2020, when Gwyneth Paltrow sold out of a candle that smelled like her vagina for $75 through her company Goop. Goop. Well, see, the thing is, like, the candle got me thinking a lot about panty sniffing. And it's not because I need another expensive, time-consuming hobby, but I was kind of wondering if maybe this will kind of normalize panty sniffing in the way that 50 Shades of Grey kind of normalized BDSM culture, or the way that the Catholic Church normalized molesting kids. Just something that is cross-cultural that we all come to accept. Yeah, I realize now that I've been in this lockdown. I took a lot of things for granted. I really did. I didn't know how much I would miss doing things like going to the coffee shop, going to the movie theater, hanging out in a sex dungeon. It's just like the normal stuff. Now that that's kind of gone away, it makes me nostalgic for it. But I remember, just months before, like complaining about all of like the remakes and reboots and sequels and how kind of uncreative they are. Like I'm kind of thinking, let's start really mashing stuff together. Like I want to see, when they do the inevitable remake of Friday the 13th, why don't we also make it a sequel for Friday? So that way we can have Ice Cube fighting Jason Voorhees. I think this would be an incredible movie. 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, before all of this started, like I could feel tension in the country and around me all the time. Like my friends were super tense all the time, and we would get into really stupid fights. One that sticks to the back of my my head is when I was having a normal conversation with my friend, and I just asked a simple question. All that I asked was, are you secretly frustrated with your life because you spent all of that time and money on music school only to end up in a cover band? Now, for some reason, he got really upset about it and then spent the next half hour trying to convince me that playing in the symphony is different than being in a cover band. It's not. If you have to play somebody else's music and be as close to the original as possible, doesn't matter what discount Men's Warehouse tuxedo you dress it up in, you're in a cover band. I'm kind of jealous of my friend, though. I've got to say, because he's a working musician. He makes money at it. I actually just got hired for my first film score last year. Thank you. That response was overwhelming. I also just got fired from my first film score last year. And it really, really comes down to a difference of opinion. The director kind of thought that my score was a little too dark for the movie, which I mean is a shock to me because I'm a ray of fucking sunshine. But it really, really shocked me because this movie was a love story that ended in necrophilia. So my score was too dark for a love story that ends in necrophilia. I wasn't able to put the feels into necrophilia. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can use this score, kind of bring it back from the dead, show it a little bit of love, give it a new life. I don't know. The working on it though, like I'm kind of glad I didn't go through because I'll be honest. Doing that movie kind of reminded me a lot of my my last relationship, and I should probably explain that. One of the things that we would do is we would hang out on the couch, get high, and we'd start looking up really, really weird stuff. And one night we landed on the classes of necrophilia. Did you know that there are 10 classes? 10! Jeffrey Dahmer was only a class 9. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of wondering if on his deathbed, he was secretly disappointed that he didn't get that 10 out of 10. Jeffy, you should have reached for the stars on that one. I don't know. Is anybody else really, really super medicated? Because I am. I am super duper medicated. I was really, really lucky because when I first got my meds, it was life changing. Like the choirs saying the clouds parted. I could see the flowers in the cemeteries that I hang out in as being beautiful and not just an ironic reminder of how fragile and fleeting life is. But when they don't work, it starts to bring up questions, and like one of the biggest questions was, if the pills that I'm on for depression have the sometimes side effect of giving me suicidal thoughts, am I medically gaslighting myself? Because I think I am. I had to change therapists last year, and that was a little traumatic. And I could have kept my old therapist, but she changed affiliations, and what she told me was, while we could still see each other, I would have to pay $200 out of pocket per session. So I did the math, and I realized, one, that would really cut into my weed money, but also for that amount of money, I could hire a superhero impersonator and have the joy of telling all of my problems to Spider-Man. I did the grown-up adult thing. I didn't do it only because I realized that Spider-Man is pretty messed up himself, Like, imagine being a teen with super intelligence, like off the chart superpowers. You inadvertently cause the death of your father figure. Like, if anybody deserved to be a goth, it was Peter Parker, Like, how that guy wasn't in his bedroom writing morose poetry while listening to Nine Inch Nails is beyond me. I think it's probably because he's a little too altruistic, and that's like the big difference between Peter Parker and myself. I mean, besides the superpowers, is the altruism, and I don't want to say that I am like morally bankrupt or anything. I'm just more morally in heavy debt. I don't know how much time I have left, but that might be, where are we? I can't see. It's just black.
3 minutes.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm moving through this stuff really
But
fast.
it's whatever feels right.
All right. So let me pop into one other thing. So I have been lucky enough that during the pandemic, my job has continued to pay me, which is like really really amazing. But you still end up like spending like money on like stupid shit, and I also like will end up kind of panic buying stuff and like overbuying stuff. And that makes me kind of depressed. And I get to a point where, I'm like playing Russian roulette with my bank account, and I'm kind of wondering, all right, well, is it going to be the Spider-Man action figure that I'm going to go over, or will it be the latte that I forgot to drink yesterday? It's so bad. I'm a sucker for buying stuff. I mean, like I am, like, as much as I hate capitalism, I'm a consumer. I like, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for me to spend a lot of money on, like, let's say a 24 record set of live Throbbing Gristle shows. Yeah, I said that. This is a band, Throbbing Gristle. Go ahead, say it with me. Throbbing Gristle.
Ew.
Yeah. Just rolls off the tongue, right? I took a lot of pleasure when I was growing up in the bustling Notropolis of Akron, Ohio, walking into a record shop and asking if they had any Throbbing Gristle. And I later in life, if you go into a record shop that has a video department, when you ask for Throbbing Gristle, it's a slightly different experience, because they always walk you to the back of the store to a door that's always locked. The first time one of those doors opened, I swear that I heard disembodied laughter and a hiss. I was just brave enough to kind of peek my head in. And do you remember that scene in The Shining where Wendy is walking around at the end of the movie and she comes to that room with that guy who's getting head from the guy in the bear costume?
Woo!
But I will leave you, and I don't know if I have a couple seconds because I'll leave you on just one last thing, and it's a question. Has anyone seen Dr. Pimple Popper? Just a quick yes? All right, okay. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing, just like it sounds. She will go in and she will land whiteheads. She'll dig out blackheads. She did this thing with a cyst once that had me off of mashed potatoes for a month. I don't have an end for that joke. I just wanted to leave you on that. Thank you so much, everybody.
Wow.
All right.
Natalie, bring it back to my face, please. Thank you. Everybody, please put your hands together one more time for our big friend.
Yeah.
Nice skin. I juice celery and cucumbers. It's a little secret. Has nothing to do with anything at all besides the lack of blackheads and whiteheads. All right, our next comedian, you guys ready? She comes to us from El Paso. I have heard her a couple times. She is very, very funny. She's excited that I'm going to let her get dirty. Put your hands together. Welcome to the screen, Sharita.
What's good? How y'all doing? I know I'm naturally loud. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but I'm a Paso based because this is where I got my start for comedy. So if you hear an accent, I just normally can't speak proper English anyway. And it's not because of the tongue ring. So let me start it out. So I was recently on this dating app. And I'm not going to tell you which one because all of them are the same. Bumble, Plenty of Fish, Dick Suckers Anonymous, whichever one you find. Yeah, they're literally like all the same. And this one guy, he was all like, so like when I come over, what do you like in a man? And I was like, I take it you didn't read the profile. He was like, I read your profile, but, let's just beat to the chase. What do you like in a man? And I'm like, dick. What else is there? Like, am I supposed to put on my profile long walks on the beach, like looking at the stars? If you've ever been to El Paso, Texas, there's no fucking beach. It's all desert. That shit's not romantic, right? And if you try to fuck outside, you're getting a cactus in your ass. Not a good time. So he was like, all right, cool. So I invited him to come over because I'm just, I want to see what he's working with. Because for some reason, I get a shitload of dick pics. I don't know what it is about my face that says, let me send you a dick pic. I'm like, I don't get the smiley face first. I don't get the, you have a nice smile. I just get, I got 9 inches. And I'm like, lies. So, because you know what they say, the picture always adds on length. Like all the time. So dude shows up and he was like, do I gotta warm you up? Do I look like a fucking Buick? Why do you have to warm me up? What are you gonna do? Spit on it? No. You should already know how to do this. So it's just like, why do I have to teach a guy how to eat pussy? Because that would make me a lesbian. And then I'm on the wrong team, right? She's like, what? Because I'm just like, what's the point? Like, I should not have to show you how to have sex. That's what sex ed class was for in high school. And we all should have taken that class. That's the class you take that says, don't do drugs. What? Okay. For those that don't know, I went to Catholic school. So my sex ed class, my sex ed class was like, let's not talk about that. So 4 kids later, I'm just sliding down poles. Very nice middle ones. Yeah. I'll let y'all think about that. Right? So and then you know, I'm not a total jerk. So this one date that I did happen to go on before quarantine, the dude was looking really nice in his picture. He's like, you know, we show up at the bar and I'm like, I always get there first. Why, ladies? Because we want to check all the exits out first in case we get trapped in these bars, right? So I get there first and dude shows up. I'm like, oh shit, you're so cute. Where's the rest of you? He was like, don't worry. What I lack in height, I make up for in length. I thought he was talking about his tongue, so I slid off my bar stool. So now I got to charge. Why? They didn't specify, you know. Midgets need love too. Or do we call them little people now? I don't know. You want to laugh, Brooke? I see you hiding it. Go ahead. Good chat. Don't worry, I've only told that in the club maybe twice, and no little people have been outwardly offended yet. So trust me, when this quarantine block gets lifted, oh wow, I'm fucking everybody. Almost. Because I have what is known as preferences on a good day. So like I said earlier, I have 4 kids and they're all like, when are you going to get us a new dad? And I was like, Christmas time, maybe? You know? So they're like, well, Mom, if you had dressed up more, put some makeup on, you'd be more attractive. And that's probably why my dating life sucks. Because usually when I put makeup on, it comes right off. Because, you know, it gets all over the place, you know. I told you I was going to be bad. You told me I could be bad. Yes. So I like being bad. But yeah, dating kind of sucks. And then it doesn't help that I don't look my age. I'm 42 years old and I've been dating guys in their 20s, 30s, because when we go out in public, we have to look compatible. Because if I look like I am your mistress and you look like Daddy Warbucks, people are gonna like talk, you know? But I won't mind dating a silver fox, but the problem of dating a silver fox is that I have to be a cougar. And I don't like the cougar. Why do I have to be a cougar? Why can't I be like, you know, a tigress or something? Because what do we call guys if they're not silver foxes? Jackasses, assholes, deadbeats. You know, they don't have a cool name. So why do I have to be a cool name? You know? But yeah, I enjoy dating, like when I can. But do we really like dating? Like, why is it so hard? And it used to be, oh, you just go into Barnes and Nobles, bump into a guy, you know, throw the book at him, literally, and you're dating. I did not know you had all those nicknames. So yeah, that's the old way. But now with online dating, it's like, you know, you swipe left, you swipe right, you swipe up, because that's where the dick pics come at. And then I don't know how to swipe down. Just say like, you know what, here's a tit pic. But my biggest fear is like having an OnlyFans page and my son finds it. He's like, so Mom, what are you doing on OnlyFans? I'm like, remember that new dad you asked for? That's where they come from. New dads come from OnlyFans pages. Subscribe. And then that way you could pick out your own dad. Wait, doesn't sound right. Sure. These are just jokes, people. He asked if we can go dark, and I'm going all the way. Okay, no, I don't go all the way. Not on the first. Maybe after like 3 glasses of wine, then I'm like, all right. So yes. And then also like, so I told my friends, like, I went to Vegas for a week, and everybody's like, oh, what'd you go there for? So I lied. I told them I went to Treasure Island to try out and be a stripper, right? And they're like, what? I said, yeah. I showed up and I'm missing some assets. So yeah, there was a lot of assets I was missing, but I tried it anyway. So I got on a stripper pole. The DJ comes out. He was like, oh my gosh, coming to the stage. We got WD-40. I was like, bitch. So he played the song, you know, my neck, my back, why my knees crack like that. My back, bitch, about to have a heart attack. You know, yo, you know how limber you got to be to wrap yourself around a pole? And it reminded me of that one stripper that fell off the sky, right? When she was in Miami, she was supposed to be on a pole. And all I could think of was her friend was like, yo, bitch, the floor is lava. Well, the pole is lava. And she let go. But then I was like, no. Maybe she was answering the prayer of a new version. And he was like, God, this one day I go out, let this beautiful woman just land in my lap. And it happened until she picked up her face, literally. So I thought about it. I was like, you know what? They made a GoFundMe page for her. She made like 30 grand. I was like, shit, I could do that too. But I'm not going to fall on my face though. I might fall on some young guy's lap. I don't know, just for shit and giggles. Right? Because how else are you going to learn how to work a pole if you don't work a pole? You know? How am I good on time? do I keep going? Oh, okay. That's 3 minutes. That's what she said. So, right? Because you always get that guy is like, oh, I can only last like 3 seconds. So you got to get it before I get it. I'm just like, boom, what are you here for? So I make him eat me out for 2 minutes tops, just in case. So that way, if he tops out, I win. Because that's the best way. That's the best way to get it done. So I'm just like, yes, I went. So yeah, I tried the stripper thing. It didn't work out. I'm trying to find a new dad thing. My life is all in shambles. But the best part about being on quarantine is being quarantined with kids. I've been hiding in my attic this whole month or two because kids are everywhere. They're over here like, when are you going to feed me? What's for dinner? Do my homework. And I was like, bitch, I can't even do my homework. Like, how am I going to do your homework? I only call them bitches because y'all, we just doing adult shows right now. And if they come around the corner, I don't want them to know I'm talking about them. Right. So yeah, I got a 16-year-old and I was teaching him how to drive, right? Because I'm just like, oh, guess who's going to be my chauffeur when the bars open back up? His ass. Because I don't have to spend money on an Uber. And if a creepy guy meets me, guess what? I just be like, oh, my Uber date's outside. Because my son is like 6'2", very scrawny, and I can always lie because he's mixed. So I'm just like, no, I need to go with him. And you know what my son had the nerve to say? Mom, what bars open at 10 in the morning? You're asking the wrong questions, dude. Just be the wingman. Just ride out with it. Just ride out. So yeah, that's my story. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I was okay. Love you guys.
Yay! Keep it going for Sharita. Woo! A girl that's not afraid to get her 9.
Yes.
All about getting her 9. Yep, that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wrote down. I love it. Oh, Sharita, that was amazing. You did an amazing job. It's hard with like all of us audience members, and like some people might be where they all have their mics off, some of them. So we need to have our mics on. You guys are here so that we can laugh at these people. Any other circumstance, there'd be like 100 people laughing really hard at that. So that was amazing. One more round of applause for Sharita.
Thank you.
I put her Cash App in the Twitch and her Instagram. So follow her, slide into her DMs.
Ow! Our
next comedian is currently in Chicago. We were speaking briefly about his not Instagram, but like social media. And I just looked on Facebook, Michael, and you are currently followed by 69 people. Like I didn't know that it's not a joke. So I think you're good. I think that you're in the perfect spot. Like everything's all the needs are getting met. Anywho, our next comedian, you can find him on Facebook, but don't follow him. He's just fine. He's originally from Alabama. I need him to say bicycle. It's a special request during your set. Just try to slip in the word bicycle for a special viewer. Please put your hands together for the very funny Michael Cooper.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey.
Man, yeah. I'm doing all right. You know, there is a pandemic, so it's a little stressful. Like earlier, I went down to the Walgreens, and it was like playing Frogger, but with disease.
Yeah.
I don't understand people who are scared enough to hoard supplies, but aren't scared enough to stand, over there. How healthy do I look? I look like I've been sharing needles because I couldn't figure out how meth works. Like the guy who sounds like the bad guy in all the historically accurate movies when he talks, maybe isn't following all the CDC recommendations. Just, wow. They were buying all the soup. They were hoarding all of the soup, okay? How are you going to survive the apocalypse with a Walgreens amount of soup? I've been thinking about the apocalypse every day since I was 19. I'm excited. And I'm just seeing like, here's your survival skills. Walk up to the dirtiest looking sumbitch in a pandemic, buy the 12 available cans of soup to inconvenience him. I don't get it. I went through a thing last year. I went through a breakup. It's fine. It was mutual. I agreed to it, and she agreed to it. Some guy named Nick agreed to it. I was late for that meeting. It turned out they had early voted all over the apartment. My friends are mad at me. Michael, stop hooking up with your ex. Michael, stop fucking your ex. She cheated on you. And it's good advice, but you know, it's like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't stop a horse from fucking its ex-girlfriend. Trust me on this. That's how I lost this tooth. To be fair to me, the last time we hooked up, it was an emergency. She was horny and she was about to go on a road trip to Indiana. And I just don't think anybody should have to be horny in Indiana. That's how we got Mike Pence. You're welcome, LGBTQ community. I bet when I first started talking, you did not think I was going to be on your side, but I did my patriotic duty. I'm currently in between jobs. It's a little scary, you know, being in between jobs, because last time I was between jobs, I ended up working at a Domino's for a year. At what point do I have to stop saying I'm in between jobs and just start saying, yeah, it turns out those high school teachers, they were right, man. Like, I had to ask a 17-year-old's permission to smoke a cigarette. And he said no. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. What's the worst thing that's going to happen if I don't let you smoke a cigarette right now? Come on, bro. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? So, well, I'm completely addicted to a pack a day, and there's a lot of security cameras here. So, worst case scenario, 20 to life. It wasn't all bad. I delivered to a lot of college students late at night. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but when a 19-year-old whose parents have 40 grand a year to send them to DePaul University to study music theory sees a 32-year-old man pulling up on a bicycle at 3 a.m. to deliver them their pizza, they can be a little disrespectful. But that's you know what I did? I would just ask them what they were studying. Then no matter what, I told them I studied the same thing.
Yes.
You haven't lived till you watched a 19-year-old ruin their life because you told one lie. What's that? Biomechanical engineering? Shit fire, son. Me too. What with the niodes and the diodes start making shit up to try to gain credibility, you know? They're like, sir, I don't think I believe I've ever heard of you. Knows. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. You're still an undergraduate. Wait till you write that dissertation. Opens up a world of opportunities. Also, is it weird that in this scenario I called the customer son? Maybe a little. But if my parents taught me one thing, is that if you're going to fuck up someone else's life, you owe it to them to call them son first. So I got the good end of the quarantine. My girlfriend's thing is baking. My thing is being a white guy with an acoustic guitar. By the way, hey, do y'all think R. Kelly just did all that shit to get a cabinet position? We all know Donald Trump is a horrible bigot, and he's not going to have like multiple black people in his cabinet, right? But R. Kelly thought ahead because, see, the one black person in Donald Trump's cabinet is Ben Carson, in charge of housing and urban development. He knows nothing about housing or urban development. Whereas R. Kelly went to great lengths to prove that he could house multiple marginalized women under the exact conditions the Trump administration would deem acceptable.
Right.
You might be surprised by this fact, being that, you know, I made a living delivering pizza to college students at the age of 32, but I don't like libertarians too much. And it's not because of their complete lack of understanding of economics or power dynamics or how any of that works, because I'm a human with a complete lack of understanding about how economics works. It's the hypocrisy that's inherent in it. Like, so I notice these folks are all about survival of the fittest and Darwinism, but then when you follow them home, bash them upside the head a half a dozen times and steal their Fitbit, suddenly it's time for fairness and government intervention. When Jeff Bezos does it, it's the invisible hand of the market. When I do it, it's advisable to seek legal counsel. And I'm no longer welcome in Kentucky. And I'm not allowed to take this job because of my criminal history. Funny double standards, you know? I am originally from Alabama. And I love my family and I love my home. I did go visit this past Christmas, and I was reminded that a week in Alabama is a long time to spend defending masculinity that you don't care about. They bought me steel-toed work boots as a Christmas gift. I write corporate training for a living. I don't like where they think my career's going. My dad was like, yeah, but you're a man, and a man needs steel-toed work boots. Like, I don't know if a man needs that. I think a man needs to get out of bed after the age of 55 without going, ow, because of some shit he did for $7.25 an hour back when he was 22. You know, that's what I think a man needs. I had to explain to him that some of these, you know, some of this stuff just isn't going to apply to me. Like, I need steel-toed work boots. I write poetry in my spare time. Okay, I financed a Taylor guitar like I was a 15-year-old because I want to be a songwriter still. Okay, did y'all know an Alabama effeminate is a Chicago toxic masculine? So I moved in with my current partner right before the pandemic hit, and they are gender fluid, so they go by any pronoun. Okay, and gentlemen, there's a few men here, right? Well, here's the thing. We need to work on ourselves, because I didn't realize how deep this well went until I had a partner who was gender fluid, because she's great. He is the worst. My emotional needs and my dreams. He spits in the trash can while we're having dinner. See, there's a difference. She makes these wonderful meals out of the kindness of her heart to share so we can have a wonderful time together. He makes me feel bad for not putting out. Man. I don't know if I have anxiety or if I just have the internet. My brain always feels like I'm scrolling through Facebook too fast. Which one is that? So Hey, do y'all think Christians in Flint, Michigan are still doing baptisms? I'm not big on the religion thing, right? But I do want to know what the barker in front of that Methodist church is saying, you know? Hey, come on in, lost sinners. Wash away your sins in this pool of our collective sins. Oh my God. I just right now I just have to. I also suffer from some anger issues, and it cost me a new friend once. Right after that breakup, I was like, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna go to the gym, and not to work out, but just to chain smoke in front of it, just to have the look on everyone's faces. But I made a new friend, a wonderful woman, trans woman. She was great. She told me her story, how she had to, start up her own business due to employment discrimination and then grow that business to where she could afford medical operations that would allow her to be on the outside who she was on the inside. And I was so impressed. I was amazed by this woman. I had to reach out, shake her hand. I said, I'm Michael, by the way. Nice to meet you, ma'am. And she said, nice to meet you, Michael. I'm Becky. And I just went, you spent 40 grand to be Becky? That's Athena, goddess of wisdom money. That's a year of studying music theory at DePaul University. Do you know that for 40 grand, you can spend a whole year being super disrespectful to a 32-year-old guy delivering pizza on a bicycle? Infuriating. I'm also a sober alcoholic. And that here's the first thing people goes, can I still drink in front of you? Can I still drink in front of you? My question for them is immediately, are you an alcoholic? Because if not, you better fucking drink in front of me. Every time anybody who doesn't have an addiction is sober, I look at them and it's like, what a way. It's like that scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker just sets fire to the pile of money. Like you could have had everything everybody else wanted. I do like these Zoom shows because there's this thing that'll happen at in-person shows where sometimes if a set goes very, very well, there will be a nice person who goes, hey man, you're funny. Do you want a beer? And I always feel bad when I handle it the way I typically do, which is I shout back, of course I want a beer. And then I stomp away angrily and I give them no context for what that was. Anyway, my brother's actually a cop back home in Alabama. Now, depending where you are and who you are and what your life experience has been, that sentence might make the room feel a little bit weird. He was going to come here to Chicago to do it, but they wouldn't hire him. They said he didn't have enough video editing experience. Hey, y'all, that's my time. I got to log off and listen to Freebird while I cut myself. I hope y'all have a great time. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Woo! All right, keep it going for Michael Cooper, living in Chicago from Alabama. 69 followers. So cool. So cool. We've got 2 more comedians. Very excited. It's like hot here today. I don't know if it's hot where you guys are. But if I turn on the fan, it'll be like this weird, like it'll do something with the lighting, and I don't want to disturb, what I look like to people. I'll just suffer. Anywho, I'm a lady. That's how we roll. Our next comedian, she has a 30-minute show coming up called, I want to say Judas, but I feel like there's just a little bit more to it. Is it just Judas? Cool. She is very, very funny. You can Venmo her some money if you want to. You can follow her. But right now, put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Katie Zane.
Woo! So much for having me. So I am Katie Zane. I'm sorry. Can I just one real quick? I just gotta fix this. I don't feel right. I gotta do this a different way. Hold on. Sorry, so sorry, Brooke. I need to be in the right state to share this material with you guys. Because you'll find out when you hear it, once I finally get to it. I have MS, so I pre-unbutton some of these buttons and I still can't do this fast. All right, there we go. That's better. Wait, no, not quite better. There we go. That's better. Okay, now I feel more like myself. I'm Katie Zane. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Brooke. This is amazing. So happy to be here with you all tonight. So, I have borderline personality disorder. In fact, what I just did is a very good example of impulsive behavior, of borderline personality disorder. One of the things that they use to treat it is a little fun game that's called exposure therapy. Exposure therapy is when you tell your therapist exactly how uncomfortable you want to get, and then they make that environment and then give you a valued activity at the end, like a book or a song or a walk. And so basically it is medically sanctioned BDSM. You have said exactly how much pain you want. Your therapist is doing it for you, and you get a valued activity at the end. You get to come. And if you know anything about how much a therapist costs and how much a mistress might cost, the mistress is cheaper, y'all. That is the value. Therapy. Take it as a person who's tried both. Both fairly effective. Both fairly effective. It's not socially acceptable, besides talking about mental health, right? Nobody was allowed to do that. A very socially unacceptable thing to do is casually do some methamphetamines. Yeah, especially if it's on a first date. From a dating website called Hinge. This is not an endorsement for them at all. This man took me to a crack den, as it were, which that later comes into play, where we smoked meth after knowing each other for 45 minutes. And I guess that's how some parts of Chicago take people out. Like, I don't know. But I do know that we smoked meth and then tried to buy more meth, and then we accidentally bought crack. What? Yeah, this is a real thing that happened. And then so we just smoked that because that's what we had, and then like did a little ketamine and then went to a party. And it turns out when you're on methamphetamines, you just want to tell everybody that you're on methamphetamines. It's so inappropriate. It's the one time you should shut the fuck up, and you're just like running around everybody telling them that you're on meth. So last summer during the meth, the last thing I want to tell you about that, the best part of the story is, if you didn't know, Hinge asks you to rate your date. Like, how was it like meeting this human? And so I left a review on this fella where I said, he took me to a place where we did drugs. You probably should not let him on your website. And Hinge is not the website that I am banned from. Tinder is. And I think Dan's still out there taking people to smoke meth. I think he's still on Hinge. Probably still alone if that's his first go-to. So during last summer when I was engaging on all this drug use, I had a Saturday that I woke up and I had a lot of extra time to myself. And so I was like, what should I do? And I remembered that I had like a gram of mushrooms that was just laying around my apartment. And so I just took those. And then I was like, oh yeah, I also have acid in my freezer. I'm going to also take that. And then I went to go swimming down at Lake Michigan here in Chicago. And when I got down to the lake, I found an EDM festival. After perfectly prepared for it. And so like I kind of noted it because obviously I didn't have tickets, so I just like went and did my thing and swam. But while I was swimming, I got this very bright idea that I was going to sneak into that EDM festival. And I use a cane so people don't see me. I'm invisible. And so I'm just hanging out on the edge of the VIP, the short gate for no reason whatsoever, while the security guard is about 30 feet away, like taking pictures of people at the festival. So clearly making his $12 an hour, like he doesn't care what I'm doing. And so I noticed that everybody's cleared out. And so I throw my cane over the fence and then I go over the fence. And for whatever reason, like some kind of dinosaur, I was like, I'm going to go to the perimeter. I must go around the perimeter. I will be safest that way. And I wasn't. There was a guy who saw me running around the perimeter like a crazy person and was like, hey, you get back here. And then he goes, wait a minute, I saw you. You were on the other side of the gate. You didn't, how did you? And I was like, oh, I hopped over the gate. And he's like, you do know that you have a cane, right? Like how? And I was like, oh, I'm on a bunch of drugs right now. And I didn't see anybody. I thought I wouldn't get caught. And he was like, you know what? That's so fucking cool. You can stay.
Yeah. Nice.
And so, yeah, he let me stay. I got to go to an EDM festival with a bunch of white kids doing drugs. It did get rained out, and nothing gives you another source of really great satisfaction than watching a bunch of white kids who spent too much money on drugs and tickets, and you're just running away in the rain with them being like, I did not spend any money on this. I did not spend any money on this. It's the best feeling. I have a real, like, as a white person, I have like a weird, I don't know, I get off on white people being uncomfortable. I just like it. I'm just like, yep, oh, look at you being inconvenienced white person. That must be so hard for you for the very first time. I really feel like in the pandemic too, like there's so many people that are complaining about like this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, man, you have never had a bad day, have you? Like, do all your joints work? Like, how are you so like privileged in life? So as I mentioned before, I have multiple sclerosis, and it's a very difficult disease to explain to people. I've had it for 17 years, so hard to explain. And it's an autoimmune disease, which basically just means I'm self-deprecating by factory setting. And then it's like, okay, I think most people are familiar with ADHD and your brain going like too fast and you're like running along, right? Up in there. Imagine that, but with that little bit of crack cocaine on top of that. And then there's just potholes the whole time. Just stealing all the ends of your sentences. Just like, it's amazing. If you catch me looking over here like a bunch of times, it's because I'm 3 years into stand-up and I still have to read my notes as I'm doing this because my brain is an asshole. One of the most like broken parts of my brain apparently is the bit of my brain that controls my asshole doing its job. It's a broken asshole. Mm-hmm. And you might be like, what does she mean by that? That can mean a lot of things. And what I'm trying to explain to you is that it's like, you know, you have like a bag of bread and you got that twist tie and you lost it. You go to your drawer and you're digging for a twist tie. You find one, but it's kind of shitty. You put it on the bag and it does not secure the bag. That's my asshole. Every day. Just every day. Let me down. Oh, let me down like every white man I've known. But like, it is insane not having an asshole that works, y'all. It also apparently means that, so when we started this quarantine situation, my boyfriend and I just moved in together, and he would laugh hysterically when I would fart. And I was like, you're 33. Why are you laughing at farts? Like, well, you're a stand-up comedian too. Have some fucking respect for yourself. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Your farts sound like duck quacks. Like, not just like a singular kind of duck quack situation. It's like dead duck, alarm duck, sad duck, a lot of duck situations. And in the quarantine and COVID times, I feel like I've just got me a skill in my back pocket. Get super gassy, go to a lake without a collar, bag me a bunch of ducks, meat for days. I am set. That is if you really like. Yeah, I guess you'd have to really like duck. It's fine. But the thing is with my going back to, let's focus on my asshole. Let's get back there. I have also in this quarantine time been trying to find someone who I can build my kinks up with to see if like I can like blow in it, if they'll blow in it, not me. I can't blow in my own asshole. That would be weird. But blow in it to see if it would fix the problem. You know, it works for Nintendo cartridges. Why can't it work for my asshole? And the last thing I'll say about it, and then I will stop talking about my asshole, is did you all know scientifically that the muscle that is in your throat, that is your gag reflex, is the same muscle as your anus that keeps it shut? Guess which one works for me really well?
Woo!
Yeah. So I think the thing I miss the most about pre-quarantine times is getting to pre-board airplanes. That is a luxury that few know. And I get to enjoy it every time I fly. And the best part about it is that I am getting on before that white dude who bought the first class ticket, and he's so angry about it. And he's so bitter that it's pre-boards because he doesn't get on first. It is the best feeling. It's the only time that I ever get to be in front of a white guy. I know I'm a white lady, but I'm just saying in the ranking, they're always in front. So it's the only time I get to really stick it to them. And I kind of have like a big fat ass, and so I kind of like my big fat ass waddling down the fucking jetway in front of them. Just, it's the best. It is the best feeling in the world. It is really the best. Let's see, sorry. I'm just trying to. MS is a son of a bitch. I'll tell you guys right now. It's amazing that I can remember any of these jokes. So last year, I went to a Tinder date before I got banned from Tinder. And I got a call from my clinic, Howard Brown. And they called me very grave-voiced, and they were trying to tell me that I had HPV. The woman sounded so grave when she called me. I was like, oh my God, it must be the kind that causes cancer. So that was the first, I was like, is it the kind that causes cancer? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to put you on hold. And I'm like, people love to be put on hold to find out if you're going to get cancer. That's the American way. It's not the kind that causes cancer, in case anybody was worried about my health of my vagina. If you were just worried about my vagina, then that's fine. You can worry about my vagina. I should worry about it more. As I got the HPV. Chicago gave me HPV too. That's my favorite part about that. It's like I moved here, learned how to date, and got HPV. But when I found out about it, I wasn't like, most people find out they have an STD and they're like, oh no, I have to make some phone calls. I need to start wearing condoms with people. Like there's just like choices you're making. And for me, I was like, fuck yeah, I have HPV. And the reason for my enthusiasm is that I've had herpes since I was 20. And I've been on herpes island. Socially unacceptable. Nobody will fuck you. People dump you. People leave you places. People move to other states and don't tell you. It's a shitty island to be on. It's a better island is HPV Island, where I also live now, where all of you guys live too.
No.
And yeah. Like, I didn't know an STD could make me feel as part of as I've always wanted since I was a child. Just like every person I meet, I have something in common with them. Like out the gate, doesn't matter who they are. And I feel like that's a life skill that's going to carry me through to old age. So I've been Katie Zane. That's enough out of my mouth and about my body parts. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you for burying yourself. I mean, your soul. on the Twitch. I put her little Instagram. You follow it, and then you can watch her show somehow. And I don't know, are people going to be able to watch it? The Judas show? Or do they have to be live? You'll find out if you follow Katie Zane on her Instagram. She'll let you know. Cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be streamed through Zoom, and I'm going to have the link posted everywhere and try to get it so I can get as many people in the room as possible.
Awesome.
Recorded and probably uploaded to YouTube.
Yes.
Fun seeing all your hard work paying off. Very cool. All right. I'm looking out at this audience and I see like so many mics off. And that's just like, that's not going to fly. I don't know where JD went. Hopefully he'll be right back. So yeah, just get ready to laugh. Okay. Are we ready? We got one more comedian and we're gonna give her a big old welcome. She's from LA, I believe. Very, very, very funny. Does a lot of cool impersonations. So I think we're in for a fun treat. Put your hands together. Welcome to your screen, April Walterscheid.
Yeah, how are we doing? Everyone's great. I love how we're talking about HPV. I got the shot. I got the shot for that, and I always thought it was like it stood for Harry Potter vagina, because I just remember taking the bus to the doctor and like reading Harry Potter while they're like doing their thing and stuff, just to like block out what's going on at the gyno. Gyno's a scary place. That's the word gyno. It's a scary place. Yeah, my name is April. I was named after March. We have all month names. It's absurd. Like my dad's name is August. And when September rolls around, we're like, where did he go? He's a deadbeat. He's not around. So I look like Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus without the magic or the bus. I have an apartment. I came to LA to follow my dreams at the right time, obviously. Everything shut down. Can't even do anything. Yeah, it's a good time. I'm vegan. And do we have any vegans? No. Just people who dabbled. Like I've dabbled. I've eaten a vegetable. I once had pasta. I once made oatmeal. I once looked at a broccoli. I once almost ate a rock, right? When I go out with my friends and they go to like a meat shop, which is just like a Red Lobster, I just call it like a meat shop or like a seafood shop or something. There's no chance. Maybe they have like side lettuce that's just for decorations. They're like, you want this? But one time my friends went to Red Lobster and I just like stood outside the window of where they were sitting and I was just like, they're like, are you doing okay out there, April, since you're not allowed in here? And I just crouched down and I'm like, yeah, I got rocks to eat. Yeah, it's great out here. It's all, I got the world to eat out here. They're like, okay, good job. We're gonna finish up actual good food in here while you eat like just stuff God made or whatever. Good luck with that. Oh God. I'm so vegan that I signed my soul over to Whole Foods and now I have to pay them $600 a month for a room there. I don't even get a room. They're just like $600. Like I spent $600 there. This is no joke. And my friend's like, April, you got a budget. I'm like, Whole Foods has everything. They got the coffee bar. They got food. They got like a salad bar. They have couches. I mean, you could live there. So I brought a blanket and they're like, get out. I remember my dad's like, can I visit you in LA? And I'm like, yeah, I'm at the Whole Foods. I have a room in aisle 14. He's like, okay, we'll come over and see you. Oh, it's a fun one. I'm so white that I look like I would ask people for their manager. I do have a jacket that says Karen. I got this at a thrift store. Let me show you. I literally have a jacket that says Karen. Can you see it? I think you might be dead. I mean, when you go to the thrift store, all the clothes you're buying, I think everybody's dead. You're wearing like ghost people clothes. One time I found somebody put their grandma's birthday, like 100th birthday or like 98th birthday. It's like happy birthday, Mildred. And it's like her like blowing the candles out like this. You know, she's really old and stuff. And I'm pretty sure she's dead. Otherwise, why would they give it to the Goodwill? So I bought it. And I'm just hoping to run into I ran into her relatives just in LA. I was walking down LA, I ran into their relatives, and they just had that look like, oh my God, there's Grandma Mildred. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't give up on her like you did. You gotta keep her legacy alive. Don't throw a birthday party and then like give up on her. That's terrible. Oh man, I wonder why if cows are vegan, why are they so fat? I think they have a thyroid condition. They have 3 stomachs. They're constantly eating for three cows, which is just themselves. Could you imagine? Like when women are pregnant, they're like, I'm eating for 2 or 3. Like a cow for my damn self. Just so selfish, those cows. I tried dating. If you think I don't drink or smoke weed or anything, you're wrong. I know I look like I don't do anything. Yeah, I've actually tried dating. I look like I wouldn't like have sex with anybody, but you know, or anything. So I joined like a dating site, and my connection might be unstable. I joined a dating site, and it's not going well. I give one-word answers, and guys block me right away, so that's not good. That's a thing I get. But I was thinking, I grew up Catholic, and I'm not anymore. And I was thinking, like, what is an agnostic dating site called? I think it's called like, is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? I don't know. And then I think like an atheist dating site is called Nobody's Out There. It just goes black when you're gone. I think I have cancer. Let me tell you why. I went to the dentist. They found cancer, they found like a tumor right here. And I am 35. I'll go into that. But like, I found I can show you. Yeah, it's down there. And I haven't gotten it checked out yet because I don't have money for that. So let's skip it. I should get it checked out. And it's funny. It looks like these teeth, like one of these bottom teeth, it just looks like that. Like it's just like I am so healthy as a vegan that I'm going back to being a 5-year-old and like my teeth are coming in again or something. And cancer is weird because if it is cancerous, it's just like, oh, cancer's like, we thought you needed this. You don't need another tooth. We're 30 years too late. What? We're 30 years too late. We're trying to give you like a third tooth. We had no idea. We don't know sense of time. We're just like in here, like impeding on your organs, just trying to make stuff for you. And then we end up killing you. That's cancer. Depression and cancer. They're just like, they're trying, like, imagine that we're not in quarantine anymore. And you know how like, during quarantine, they're making like a shit ton of masks. So like, gotta get the masks, the N95s out, get the KN95s out. And imagine like cancer is just like a post-quarantine mask factory. We gotta get these masks out. We gotta get them out. Oh, quarantine's over. Oh. Burn all the masks, put them in, get some chemo on these masks, burn them up. Okay, that's what I think cancer's like. So speaking of 35, I just turned 35. Yay! Woo! I spent it by myself. I waited in line at a store outside, and I was just like dancing. Like we're just in line for 30 minutes trying to get into Trader Joe's. I'm just like, yeah, I gotta get my butternut squash ravioli. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. And have my mask on. It's my birthday. I did a whole video of just a day of me like trying to drink things through my mask, and I like ate ice cream through my mask, and I like ate like a cupcake through my mask. And then my mom messages me. She's like, we're not sending you any more masks, April. Don't ruin that one. I also put like lipstick on it. Like I had to like go out and like just look like it's a party, and I like couldn't buy balloons for myself, but I drew some on like some cardboard, and I just like held them up, and like I'm like, I got balloons. I'm holding up this cardboard picture of a balloon. Yeah. So sad. But like, oh man. When I turned 35, I thought I'd have like boobs by now. I really thought that they'd like, okay, if they're not coming in at 21, okay, maybe 25, maybe 28, 35. They should have been here by now. They're not here. My boobs are not here. Maybe when I'm 80, they'll come in. My brother and I, if we had I have a younger brother. If we had like a wet t-shirt contest, I think he would win because he's a dad now. He's getting those dad bod boobs. He's getting these. I'm gonna have to donate my bras to him. I've been buying bras all this time. Like I've been buying like going to Victoria's Secret to get fitted, and they look at my chest and they're like, are you sure you want to spend $50 for a flat cereal box of a chest? All right, well, follow me. We'll measure you. It's gonna be zero. Yeah, well, they just like measure me to like make me feel good. They're like, yeah, she's crazy. She thinks she has boobs. Just measure her. Just measure her. And then they're like, nothing fits you here, but we want your money, so we'll put you in a C cup or a D cup if you want. Yeah, that's all right. You guys want to see my bra? I actually brought it out because in quarantine, I'm not wearing anything. I don't need to wear anything, it turns out. Here's my bra, guys. Are you ready? Let me see if I got it. Okay, this is my bra. Holds up my little heat bumps that I have. And it's a rubber band. It's a band. My bra is in a band. It's called a rubber band. That's what we call it. But I'm a minimalist, like in the bra area, so I'm really happy about that. Like I don't live in a tiny house, but I'm a tiny bra. I have a tiny bra house that goes across the One time, I don't know if you can believe this. One time I thought I'd have to have an abortion. My ex-boyfriend / we tried to get back together. He did put his dick in me for 1 second, barely the tip. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get back together. You're cheating on me still, even 3 years after we've broken up. And I seriously thought I was pregnant because my period was late, so I considered going to a back alley coat hanger abortion clinic called Dr. Hook, and I'm like, I have to do it. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm vegan. If I have the baby, it's gonna die anyway. I know. I look like a Midwest crowd, right? I don't know how I wasn't pregnant, so no babies died. Yay. Actually, I'd probably just, I'm thinking of doing adoption. I watched so many adoption shows where people adopt, and it looks like hell. It looks like, oh my God, you need to adopt, you need to save up $30,000 to buy a life. A life is priceless, but they're like, here's money or whatever. I don't even know. It costs, there's so much up front. It's like buying a house. So there's no really loans or something about it. That's what I think it is. I don't even know. I wanted to let you guys know that every time you're not eating, you're technically vegan. Is anyone eating right now? And then I can be like, oh, well, someone's named Cookie. Are those vegan cookies? What is that? If you want to know why Gandhi died, let me tell you, he was vegan. He was Gandhi in 60 seconds. He got assassinated by a meat eater. Garrett from Subway. I'll tell you why my Spider-Man my Marvel what's the backstory called? I forget. Origin story. My Marvel or my non-cool, non-superhero origin story for being vegan is that I was alone in my room, went to the kitchen, no one was home, my parents weren't home, cut my tongue on a piece of cheese. It was sharp cheddar. And I just became super vegan. Pow! Oh gosh, I'm from Phoenix. I saw like a restaurant sign there that said Best of Philly, and I'm like, really? What are you doing in Phoenix then? If you're the best of Philly, were you so terrible they kicked you out? Doesn't make any fucking sense. I think maybe they were a taco shop in Philadelphia. They were called the Best of Phoenix, but their tacos like sucked, so they got kicked out or something. Kind of like that joke, kind of. Bring it back. Oh man. Let's see what else. Oh, my dad has an eye-eating parasite. I don't know if you heard. It's herpes of the eye, and I'm like, Dad, are you promiscuous in the eye department? Is your eye a street hooker going out at night? How did this happen? You know, like I didn't know herpes could just jump onto your face. I didn't know that. I'm like, are you looking at porn? Are you looking at herpes porn and then just like jump through the screen into your eye? Like how the world? The world is so scary. So yeah, my dad has these eye drops that are as thick as semen. They're so thick that I'm pretty sure that like when the doctor needs to do a refill of the prescription, he just says like, give me 2 minutes and a magazine. I'll go to the bathroom and fill up your prescription, you know? And anyways, I just like every night I have to like help my dad put these eye drops in. Let me like just show you what it's like. It's hell. I just stand over him and I'm like, take it, Dad, take it, take it, take it. Jesus. It's like getting like eye drops to the eye, like he's a porn star. And he's like, I could have got anime porn. Obviously, I'm into anime porn. Obviously. It's just like, take it, Dad, take it. Is that good for you? Is that good for you? Is anything I do good enough for you, Dad? Yeah, honey. Yeah, that's really good, but they're expensive, so don't miss. And then like our neighbors are super worried. Like they heard yelling and screaming and they come over and they're like, what's going on? Is it incest? And I'm like, yeah, blah, blah. Whatever I need to do to save my dad's eye. So anything I need to do to save my dad's eye. He's doing well now. Don't even worry. My grandma died of cancer. I'm glad she died of cancer because she would give us checks for our birthdays and they'd all bounce. And all I had was like $5 in my account or no money. So like, I mean, her checks were always bouncing, and I'm like, it's about time she died of something. Like that's really rude, you know. She had a 4-pack-a-day cigarette habit, and yeah, I figure who smokes in here? You getting your lungs checked for COVID and for cancer? You're doing both every time you go. Like maybe go get the little COVID test and be like, can you also check my lungs for other things so you don't have to categorize me as dying of COVID? Aren't they doing that? I took this really dark suddenly. But yeah, she died of 4-pack-a-day cigarette habit. And I think I'm gonna die of something really similar. I've got this cute problem where I drink 4 cans a day of LaCroix. So that's a problem. And I'm gonna die of natural flavors. I think Flava Flav, I'm gonna invite him to the funeral like before I die. I'm like, hey, I died of natural flavors. Can Flava Flav come by now that he's not in that band anymore or something? Public Enemy, I think he got kicked out. I'm like, how did he get kicked out of that? I didn't read about it. I'm sorry. I wanted to do some of my voices since that was mentioned earlier. I know, like, who's into meditation? I tried to get into it, and it's hard to, like, sit still. You're just, like, judging yourself. You're like, breathe! Don't think about that guy who doesn't like you. Don't think about how your parents don't believe in you. Like, just breathe, you know? Think about how you might never get out of quarantine. You might not step on a stage again. Like, just don't think about it. And maybe you're funnier online than you are on stage. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. So yeah, I'm gonna do meditation as one of my favorite voices, Gilbert Gottfried. So he was the voice of Iago in Aladdin. Yeah, you're like, duh, that's the only thing he's done. Okay. All right, so here we go. Close your eyes and bring yourself to a calm, quiet place in your mind. Just stay here, okay? And relax for a few moments. Breathe deeply and comfortably to the sound of my voice. You are never going to become anything. You live alone. You're in your bed alone. You're always gonna be alone. Quarantine, outside of quarantine, it doesn't matter. Your body is now relaxed. Your mind is relaxed now too. Take in a nice breath again and bring your attention back to where you are. Alone. Along with all the calm, peaceful feelings of relaxation and rest. I know you are feeling energized and sad now, ready for a wonderful night's sleep. Okay, that's my time.
Oh wow, that was fun. I feel like calm all through my body now. I don't know about you. One more round of applause for April, everybody. Yeah. Follow her. I hear that when you audition places in LA, how many followers you have is a thing. So follow her, help her.
Oh, okay. Let's follow each other. Let's follow each other, guys. Okay, that's how you do it.
I love it. I love it. This has been a really, really fun show. We are Contagious from the back line in Omaha, Nebraska. One more time, let's go ahead and give a round of applause for Natalie on tech. And Arvin Clay. He was very, very funny from earlier.
Yeah.
Not to forget Sharita. Dirty. Her face. Yes. And then we had the very, very funny Michael. Hardy har. And Katie, too, still wearing her very appropriate clothing. Love the freedom. Boobs save every show. Every show are saved when you get to see some boobs. I'm distracted now. And one more round of applause for April. Yep, and for comedy. I hope you had fun and you got to laugh and be silly. And we'll be back next Saturday until I don't know what happens when the world is changed again. Thank you so much. My name is Brooke Barsell. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.